Hi, Mina.
Hello.
Big week ahead in football. Let's start by talking about the Clasico this weekend. Barca taking on Real Madrid in the final of Copa del Rey.
Yeah,
Will Real Madrid finally win this time?
I don't think so. I mean, for Carlo Ancelotti, I hope they challenge and they have a great game. And I think that Barcelona have looked somewhat defensively exposed in their match against Celta Vigo. They did go 3-1 down before they managed to stage the comeback and win it at the very end through Rafinha. But that high line, it is very risky from Barcelona. It's just that I don't know whether Real Madrid right now are this cohesive unit that they need to be to really challenge and to try to win this. They've got the individuals, we know that. I just think that the team has not really gelled this year as well as can be, and they've really got to win this one because, as you know, the pressure's being piled on poor Ancelotti, and people are demanding trophies because this is Real Madrid.
There has been a lot of pressure on Ancelotti and also a lot of speculation since the Champions League exit about if he ends up going, who might replace him, including talks about Xabi Alonso coming from Leverkusen. What did you make of all of that?
Honestly, this sort of angers me a little bit because I think that the pressure piled on is sort of like, unless Real Madrid win everything all the time, then the pressure is going to be piled on to poor Ancelotti when it comes to the Champions League. Nobody has won this competition more times than Carlo Ancelotti. He's won it 5 times, 3 of those over 2 stints at Real Madrid. He is king of this competition. And yes, they were comprehensively defeated. And yes, they deserve their criticism. And yes, I can say to you that this season Real Madrid haven't shown cohesion, nor have the individuals been able to shine under his tutelage, which is, I think, something that he's really always been known for, is a player who can get the individual to shine. So I'm not saying that he should be absolved of all criticism, but I do think it was very harsh to ask him the questions that were asked after that match in the post-match conference, and asking him whether this was his final game in the Champions League and when he's going to be sacked. And it's ridiculous. And I'm so happy that Luis Figo stood up for him. And I think quite a lot of coaches have come out to really stand up for him because, yes, maybe this is his final season at Real Madrid, but he's been a magnificent coach and people should have a little bit more respect.
All right, over to the Champions League semis next week. Barca and Inter have been looking somewhat shaky in their last games.
They have.
What do you think will happen?
Well, as I already mentioned to you, that I think that there were some defensive vulnerabilities on show against Celta Vigo from Barcelona. I'm always a little bit aware of that high line, and we saw what Dortmund could do against them as well. But Inter have looked quite shaky coming into this too. That's 2 losses in a row, and they haven't even gotten onto the score sheet. So we know that they lost over the weekend to Bologna, which means now they're level on points with Napoli in the Serie A title race. And when it comes to Coppa Italia, they were comprehensively defeated by Milan. Lowly Milan, who are miles away from making top 4 at the moment. And they were thrashed 3-0. And I think there's something to be said about the number of games that Inter have played this season. I think they are looking somewhat exhausted. We're not seeing the best of Barella, who looks like he's running on empty at the moment, as well as Lautaro Martinez. And when you don't have Çalhanoğlu to start the match, there's a difference for Inter.
Arsenal, PSG, what do you think will happen this time? The Gunners haven't beaten PSG in the group stage.
This is going to be a different PSG side. This is a better side that has developed and evolved rather remarkably under Luis Enrique this season. And I think with the way that they dominated against Liverpool and even in the first leg against Aston Villa, although I think there were question marks of the way they handled the second leg, they allowed Villa to come back, they lost their concentration, and they are a young squad, so they are going to make mistakes, but I think that it arrived at the right time. They've learnt their lessons, or should have learnt their lessons from that Villa match, as to how to remain concentrated in a match. But they are a team that can dominate. They do have a wonderful attack, even though sometimes I think that they can dominate without scoring the goals that they need to. But Arsenal are formidable at the back. And there were concerns over their game against Crystal Palace, where maybe they showed a few frailties there. But 5-1 against Real Madrid tells you all you need to know about Arsenal, their mental fortitude, their strength in this competition. Maybe they just might be enough and can do it again.
Great stuff. Thanks, Mina. I think we'll leave it there. For our audience who want to ask any questions, how can they reach you?
that you can reach me on X at Mina Rzouki or on Instagram at Mina Rzouki. But do send those questions in and we can get back to you on this show as well as in writing. So keep them coming.